Alright, so for problem number 8, again we're asked to solve the triangle, so we're going to try to find all the angles, capital A, capital B, and capital C, and then try to find all the side lengths, which is lowercase a, lowercase b, and lowercase c, where this is C, because it's across from that, angle C. Capital B, lowercase b is across from capital B, lowercase a is across from capital A. So lowercase a is 22, lowercase b is 35, and we know that the measure of angle B is 40 degrees. So I can solve for the angle A by using law of sine. So if I say sine of capital A over A is equal to sine of B over lowercase b. Now what that means is I'm going to say sine of A is equal to, or sine of A over 22 is equal to sine of B, which is 40 degrees, over lowercase b, which is 35. Now I can find what sine of 40 degrees divided by 35 is by simply putting that in the calculator. Sine of 40 degrees divided by 35, that gives me, ooh, that's a really small number, 0.83, well, let me write it down because that's a lot to say, 0.0184 if I approximate it, and that's equal to sine of capital A over 22. The next thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 22. These will cancel and I get sine of capital A is equal to whatever these two numbers are. So I'm just going to multiply this by 22 and I get 4.404. Now I'm trying to solve for A, so what I'm going to have to do is take the inverse sine of A. Now the reason I got to do that is that'll cancel and that'll give me the measure of angle A. But remember, whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. Alright, so now I'm just going to take the sine inverse of that last number, which is 0.404, and see what I get. And I get 23.8. 23.8 degrees. So I'm going to write that in up here, 23.8 degrees. Now to find the measure of angle C, that's pretty easy to do. The measure of angle C, is equal to 180 minus the sum of the other two, which is 23.8 degrees plus 40 degrees. So that would be 180 degrees minus 63.8 degrees. Right, so the measure of angle C then is all this stuff. So if I say 180 minus 63.8, I get 116.2. So this is 116.2 degrees. Alright, so now to finish this thing, what I need to do, so this is 116.2 degrees. And I found that A was 23.8 degrees. Now to find lowercase c, I'm just going to say sine of A over A is equal to sine of C over lowercase c. Actually, let's flip-flop that because I'm solving for C. It's just easier if I put C in the top, that's all. So if I say C over sine of C and lowercase a over sine of capital A, then I get 22 over sine of 23.8, and that's equal to C over sine of 116.2. So now I'm going to do some plugging in there. I'm going to say 22 divided by sine of 23.8, and I get 54.5168 is equal to C over sine of 116.2, which is 0.8973 approximately. Now remember, to get this out from under the C, I'm dividing by 0.873, so I'm going to multiply the top by 0.8973, and then that will cancel with this, but I also have to multiply by 0.8973 on this side. So in other words, I'm going to multiply that by 54.5168, and I get that the measure of angle, or not measure of angle C, the side length lowercase c, is approximately 48.9. So that's 48.9. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have the whole thing in there so you could see everything. All right, any questions?